Do you know what's mad? 4 years ago, I was literally delivering pizza at Domino's. Broke, stuck, and thinking, is this it? I remember one of my lowest points, clear as day. I had to plan my driving routes so I could literally roll downhill as much as possible, just to save on petrol. That's how bad it got. But now I run an online coaching business that brings in $30,000 every single month consistently. And I helped my client Kwesi go from $1,000 a month to $7,000 in just 30 days using the exact framework I'm going to explain in the next few seconds. And I'm not saying all of this to flex. I'm saying this because if you're watching this right now and you feel stuck, or you're posting content that just isn't landing, or you're wondering if online coaching can even work for you, I want you to know I've been there. And in this video, I'm going to show you the exact steps I took to turn it all around. How I went from broke, stuck, and overwhelmed to building a business I love. And the best part is, I'm not holding anything back. By the end, you'll know exactly how to pick a niche that actually pays, create an offer people can't resist, create content that blows up, turn DMs into high-ticket clients, and build systems so you're not working 12 hours a day stuck to your phone. And I'll also share one story later in this video. The single decision that instantly took me from charging $200 for coaching to landing my first $7,000 client without them even blinking. That moment changed everything. So stick with me, because if you get just one insight from this video, it could be the thing that makes your coaching business take off. Let's rewind for a second. Before coaching, my life looked like this: working in warehouses, pulling pints in pubs, delivering pizza at Domino's. And the worst part, being surrounded by people with zero ambition. Everyone was just clocking in and clocking out, waiting for Friday. And I thought, is this it? Is this life? And then COVID hit, 2 years of my life wasted. And I felt like I was going backwards. And deep down, I knew I had so much more to give. That is exactly when I made the decision to go all in. Because here's the thing, just deciding doesn't mean you suddenly know what to do. And trust me, I made every mistake in the book at the start. The first one, trying to help everyone. I created this bodyweight workout app called C-Ray Fit. About 1,000 people signed up. I thought I'd cracked it. I thought I'd done it. But when it came for time to pay, only about 5 to 10 people actually did, at $20 a month. And that's when it hit me. It doesn't matter how much effort you put in, how good your content looks, how fancy your website is. If you're in the wrong niche, you're rowing the wrong boat. So how do you pick the right one? For me, the answer was staring at me in the face. Picture this. I'm sitting in my car after a Domino's shift, hours of driving, back stiff, hips aching, and I realized this is exactly what desk workers feel every day. Professionals who sit for hours on end. And here's the kicker. They weren't just struggling with fat loss or wanting to bulk. That wasn't their real problem. Their broken hand problem, the thing that kept them up at night, was a lack of time, constant stiffness, low mobility, and just feeling older than they were. That's when I connected the dots. I had the skills, quick, effective mobility workouts, and I had the experience, sitting for long periods, feeling that pain myself. And I knew the older you get, the worse it gets. So that was my in. But even then, I still got it wrong. My first coaching offer was, I help guys get strong with calisthenics. It sounds fine, right? But here was the problem. It was way too broad. It didn't speak to anyone specifically, and it attracted the wrong type of people, guys who didn't want to spend money. I remember charging someone $200, I think it was, and I thought that was a win. And he literally said to me, mate, I thought this was going to be a couple thousand with the value that you're giving. That hurt. That broke my soul. And it made me realize something powerful. People don't value cheap. If you price yourself like a budget coach, you're going to attract budget clients. And here's the thing. I'm going to tell you in a minute exactly how I shifted that $200 mistake to landing a $7,000 client who didn't even hesitate. But first, let's talk about creating an offer that people can't ignore, because here's the truth. People don't just pay for coaching. They pay for clarity, certainty, and uniqueness. So I rebranded everything. I created a unique method and gave it a name, the hybrid method. Now, it wasn't just fitness coaching. It was a system. 20 to 30 minute workouts 3 times a week, mobility, strength, balance, control, everything tied together. And suddenly, I wasn't just another coach. I was the guy with a proven method. That's when I landed my first $7,000 close. The client didn't even bat an eye. Now here's the thing. Even with a great offer, if no one sees it, it doesn't matter. And I'll be real with you, content was a struggle for me at first. I posted this morning routine video, I think it was, that completely flopped. Why? Because it wasn't relatable. Desk workers don't have the time that I do. They have a different life, different priorities, and it just didn't speak to them. But then I posted one simple video. It was one exercise to reduce lower back pain. And it was a step-by-step video. Clear, relatable, and it blew up. That's when I realized content isn't about showing off. It's about solving their broken hand problem in real life. Now, later in this video, I'll break down the exact structure I use for all my content so people stay hooked and actually trust me. But let's keep moving. Because even with content blowing up, here's what no one tells you. Likes don't pay the bills. You need to get people from content into conversations. At first, I butchered my DM conversations. I'd drop a calendar link to them right away, and I'd say, here's my link, book in a call. And of course, it didn't work. But what did work was soft invites. Things like, I've got a bit of time free this week. If you want to hop on a quick call, I can push you in the right direction. There was no pressure attached. There was no awkward sales vibes. I was just offering help. That's how simple it was. And that's how I closed my first $7,000 client. Smooth, natural, no resistance. Now let's talk about scaling, because here's the part most coaches don't prepare for. And this is the same issue my client Kwesi had before starting the hybrid blueprint. Back then, he was scraping by on, I think it must have been $1,000 a month. He was frustrated as hell. He wanted to give up. But once he stepped into my one-to-one mentorship, the hybrid blueprint, designed to help fitness coaches scale past the guesswork and finally build consistent businesses, everything shifted. Within just 30 days, he'd jumped to $7,000 months. And more importantly, he had a clear system to keep growing without burning out. If you're watching this and you're thinking you're ready to step into that same clarity, freedom, and growth, then I've left a link below where you can book in a free 30-minute call with me and my team. On that call, we'll map out exactly where you're at right now, where you want to go, and whether the hybrid blueprint is the right vehicle to get you there. Because after a few months of going all in on online coaching, I hit 50 clients. At first, I thought, wow, this is amazing. I've got loads of clients. But then the reality hit me. 7 calls a day, calls bleeding into each other, 8 a.m. to midnight, sat on my sofa, replying to messages. I was completely overwhelmed. I built myself another job, and it was worse than Domino's. I don't know how that's even possible, to be honest. And that's when I realized the goal isn't just to make money, the goal is freedom. And the only way to do that is with systems. So I cut calls down to 30 minutes. I blocked out full days just for content. And I hired someone for $200 a month to handle my client notifications, after I trained him to reply like me, of course. And that shift brought me back my time, that single shift. And here's the thing, when you stop working in your business and start working on your business, that's when you can scale without burning out. Now let me tell you about the $200 to $7,000 shift. Remember that client who was shocked I charged so little? That's when I realized the value of what I was offering was massive, but my positioning didn't reflect it. So I rebuilt my offer. I branded it as the hybrid high performer and started charging what I was actually worth. The first time I quoted $7,000 on a call, the client didn't even hesitate. They saw the value. They knew it was exactly what they needed. And that moment, it changed my entire mindset around business. And that's why I'm here now. Because helping someone with their fitness is powerful, but helping someone change their entire life is next level. I know what it feels like to be stuck, knowing that you're destined for more, but not knowing how to make it happen. I know what it feels like to grind, to burn out, to feel overwhelmed. And that's why I created the Hybrid Blueprint, to help other coaches skip the pain, skip the years of guesswork, and build businesses that actually work. So you've got two choices right now. You can take everything I've shared in this video, piece it together, and figure it out yourself. That's what I did. And it works. I'm not saying it doesn't. It definitely works. Or you can skip the wasted years, work with me directly, and I'll walk you through every step of the process. If that's you, there's a link in the description to book a call. Either way, don't quit. Keep going. Because if I can go from planning my petrol routes downhill just to save fuel to building a $30,000 a month coaching business, then so can you. But don't just take it from me. Hear what my client Kwesi had to say about his experience inside the Hybrid Blueprint.
Hi, my name is Kwesi and I've been working with Callum for the past couple of months to actually help scale my online coaching business. Before I met Callum, my Instagram wasn't looking as good. Didn't have any structure, any professionalism. But after working with him for a couple of months, I really had my own theme, got my own slides, got my own story, and I actually attracted more higher quality leads compared to before. But what has helped me a lot with Kanye, he actually cares about the business. All right, because most people I work with, they'll spend only 10 or 20 minutes on a call. They help me actually grow, but the first couple of meetings I have with Kanye spend over an hour to make sure he knows everything about my business from the top to the bottom, right? And I used to spend literally an hour and a half to close a client, right, on a monthly. And then now I'm spending time with Callum. He helped analyze my whole script. And now it takes about 30 minutes to close a paid in full, right, which helps a lot, right? So about you, I highly recommend working with Callum. It will help you one-to-one and guide you to the proper way of getting more leads, getting more clients for your business.